John and Sarah, obviously a couple who love each other very much, have got themselves a property to build their dream home. They have on it already an existing structure, which they, surprisingly, are going to leave and build their entire future idea out the back. The lean-to.
So, John, let's start with you. What made you want to embark on such an ambitious project such as this?
That's a very good question. I was speaking with Sarah one day. We were having a discussion while staying in our villa in the north of Italy, and we were talking about where we were staying at the time, and of course discussed that and the beach house in Brighton
and the yacht
of course. Yes, and the little bookshop in the south of France, and we realized we've got all these places to stay. We've got all these houses, but we don't have a home.
No.
Which is why we decided to come here to make ourselves a home.
So what was missing was the little place in Surrey, as it were.
Yes,
rather.
Yes.
Right, and budget? How much are you looking at for this project?
We've started off. We intend to spend somewhere within the realms of $7 to $8 million on this property.
Certainly modest.
But of course, things tend to blow out at proportionate times. We're prepared for that contingency.
When you think of buildings, when you think of homes, you think of shapes and sizes, and they're all different. And so people are different as well. People have large homes, people have small homes, people have lots of money, and people have not so much money to build with. Some people don't even have homes at all. So when it comes to building your own home, where do you start? You start at the beginning. But where is the beginning? The beginning differs for different people. People are at, naturally, as they are, different stages in their lives. So where do you start? You start at the beginning. So, for someone who has climbed up the social ladder, they now have to ski down the slopes of destruction and start afresh, to completely root themselves within their own foundations and form the basis of what is a home to them. What John and Sarah have done is really a simple and ingenious design that's been around for a long time. The idea of a lean-to is quite simple. Back in ancient times, they used to experiment with this kind of building material, timber, and they'd take a piece of wood and they'd stand it on end, and what they noticed was that if they let go, the wood would fall over. There is no supporting structure whatsoever. But simply by taking another structure, another piece of wood, and placing it upright and leaning to the other section, you create a perfectly solid and sound structure. I've just been inside speaking to John and Sarah. It appears they've had to abandon the lean-to idea. Where will they go from here? It's unclear. They've got a plot of land, a perfectly good house sitting on top of it, and about 3 other multi-million-dollar properties. Disaster has struck. Right, John and Sarah, a year on, and how do you feel about your new place?
Oh, it's fantastic. It's great.
It couldn't have worked out better, really.
We had a few setbacks along the way, but I think the end product speaks for itself, really. And I'm very happy with it.
What amazes me, I think, is just how much light you get in the house in such a dreary country as well. You know, it really does seem to be full of light.
Well, that was one of the original ideas we had for the design, and I think the way that we've avoided having any kind of walls has really allowed a lot more light to come into the building itself and the structure. And I think that that's a philosophical design as well as a structural choice.
I'll tell you what I really love. I really love this and the central pillar, which you've very cleverly worked in here, which is adjustable for height. In case you get people who are large or people who are small, you want to make smaller people feel more cosed in. If you want a cozy environment, you can put it down. You want a larger environment, you put it up, and that's one.
It's funny that, because it was actually John. He'd come back from business about 3 or 4 months ago when we'd started having some of the problems with the lean-to, and he'd just been on business over in East Australia, and it's a authentic Eastern Australian design, and he brought that back with him, and it was just marvelous how it all came together, really.
You know, when I first met John and Sarah, they had lots of ideas, but they couldn't really settle on one. First of all, they went with the lean-to, and then secondly, they went to this kind of clothesline thing. But what they have ended up with, what they now have, is something that speaks to a very childlike nature in oneself. The idea of a cubby or a playhouse, building a fort, something that we all used to do in our own backyards. I must say I'm surprised about the way the light bounces off the interiors, the way the walls move and dance about in the wind. It is, in a sense, something that is quite beautiful, and they have created not only a work of art, but a wonderful home.
Will you stand